Enos with it.
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Yo, you guys still not have a mic?
Nah. Not like
I've been meaning to give it to you for a while. It's a USB though, so you just plug it in. USB-C as well. Sure.
Thank you, bro.
No problem, appreciate
man.
you.
Thank
Got
you.
you. I want to go up, man. You feel me? So step by step.
This is nice.
that's nice.
That you make me they feel it bust my brain.
Yo, what's good? We back again, season 2, episode 9. You know, the season getting to an end. We getting close.
Yes,
sir. We getting close. Schools getting near and everything. We have a special guest on here. See,
Yes,
my man Afees. Yeah, man, it's one of the best track coaches I've seen, bro. Like, this breakdown of track is serious. But yeah, like, let them know who you are.
Yes, what's good, everybody? My name is Afees. Like Kiki said, I'm a track coach, but it's not the only thing I do. You know, I also work for the federal government. Small business owner myself, a web designer. So I do a bunch of little things here and there. Also, by the grace of God, it's a lot of youth and young adult ministry. So this is a little bit about me.
Yeah, good. So I was last week for everybody. Like, you know, go ahead, Moses. Like,
Well, last week was getting exciting. It's getting near to point. I gotta start putting effort to pack my stuff for school. Just to let you know, I'm an incoming UNBC student.
Oh man, it's
so.
a good choice.
Best choice to make. Couldn't have, picked any other school. The vibe is there, the mindset, even meeting my advisor, At first I was frightened, because it didn't go as planned, but after meeting, I finally got my classes now, so talking about my career, encouraging me, taking, classes I feel like I'm going to be comfortable with.
Right.
I definitely, after putting everything in, I saw my schedule, I was like, this is perfect. I couldn't ask for it better. So,
Right.
Finish work too.
Yeah. That was a relief for me.
I clocked out that day, they took my ID, I'm like, that's it. That's it.
How many classes do you have?
I have, at the moment, it's 5, but I will replace one with my math after my placement. So.
I think for y'all, it's different than for me. Cause they said, someone told me universities, there's some certain classes you got to take as a freshman.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
CCBC is like, you just take classes for your major.
Yeah.
So that's why I have 4 classes.
I got 5 too.
You got 5 classes.
Yeah.
How was your week, man, bro?
Oh, I ain't got no classes, so that's the first part. My week's been pretty cool, man. I mean, I've been kind of out and about for the last few weeks, kind of just giving myself some time to relax and break down. Vacation. I also went to a conference not too long ago. So this last week was my first full week back, so it's just like kind of just settling down, just relaxing, just kind of getting back to the groove of things. So overall, it's been chill.
That's good. How about you, bro?
My week has been good. I just been relaxing, just working out, staying consistent in my stuff. I tried to do my hair the other day. Yeah, my sister it didn't go well. She just likes to play on my hair. But my week has been good. Went out, just did some stuff.
That's good. I mean, my week was cool. Monday, Tuesday at work. My last day of working was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, I had practice, CCBC practice. It was cool, but black people always late. Yeah, I was got there 4 o'clock. Meeting starts like 6.
Hey.
Yeah, but
That's
everything, just got to know the team and everything. Yeah, it was cool. They cool people and everything. But yeah, one thing I want to start incorporating on this podcast, ask people, how you feeling mentally, physically, and I would say financially, too.
That's a funny one
Like,
right there. The last one.
No, what's it called? Rated 1 to 10. How you feeling mentally, physically, financially?
I think mentally, I'll give myself an 8. If you asked me this 4 weeks ago, I probably would have been at a 6. Because it was just a lot going on. What was the other one? Physically, I'm cool. Physically, I gotta get back in the gym, but we're cool. Yeah. And financially, I think I'm also good. I give myself an 8 as well. Yeah, we're trying to get there.
That's good. That's good.
I guess if we landed on me, I would just say mentally, I'm, working on it just because I give my time to. This week was the reason why I took a week off before school starts. It's just incorporating back to recording. Definitely using my camera. Today is supposed to be my camera here, but You know, I didn't want to make Jesse late, so that's all. But financially, as you can see, not quite there, but hopefully with everything with the college fund and seeing how things will look, I would just pack that away. It's good, a 7, you know. But yeah, mentally, just physically, gotta get to the gym also.
We got to
go to the gym.
Yeah. Me, physically, I'm a 12.
Man, off the charts.
We thank God. I've been consistent, which is something
That's the big piece.
I've been working on. But yeah, emotionally, I'm an 8.5.
I said mentally, bro.
Oh, mentally. Oh, you didn't say emotionally. Oh, my God. Mentally, yeah, 8.5.
That's
the same.
Vice versa.
Yeah, and financially, we thank God. But yeah, I'm an incoming college student. So.
I know the vibes. Don't worry.
That's the excuse we place everything. Incoming student.
Well, me, mentally, I would say I'm a 7. You know, just trying to get everything together, know how to balance stuff together and everything. Like now, I'm just trying to. Cause last week I was talking to my parents and they were like, sometimes you just gotta take a step back.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, and also like just focus on one thing at a time. Cause I'm the type of person I like to do everything. So it's like if you want something else to be great, like
You gotta
focus
put
on that one thing. Yeah, and everything. So I'm just trying to figure that out. And also physically, I was an 8.5. Yeah, I mean I've been working out. Also, but like you know, injuries like my knee. Right now I have knee pain. That would be just, if it wasn't for that, I would probably be at a 10. Yeah, but everything else is good.
You gotta stretch. It's a sign.
Financially, yeah, we thank God.
Wait till that last check hit.
We are. Thank God, you know, college getting real. Man, it's really getting real.
Yeah, like
I just keep thinking about like, dang. I was a freshman, like, you look like I was a freshman in high school.
It's the application phase I'm thinking. Like,
They be scamming them fees, man. They be scamming those fees.
yeah.
Dang, like, it's really getting, classes about to start for real. Like, yo, let's
I'm getting excited personally.
Yeah, that's one thing,
It's a new phase of your life.
Yeah.
I ain't like, I just want to get it over with.
Nah, I wouldn't say that, man. Trust me.
Embrace the process.
Yeah, embrace the process for real.
Reverse the process.
Take your time, like enjoy every
And
step
then
of
imagine
the
you
way.
pass college now, you're like, I want to go back to college.
Nah.
How would that feel?
But yeah, I mean, I'm in school. It's cool. It depends on the people you meet in school. Also, yeah, like the people around you make some like they affect
Your good
things like
decisions.
experience. Yeah, they affect your experience. But yeah, let me get straight to the. Listen, we have a question. This was actually given by one of the people that watched it, one of our audience.
Okay.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, y'all should bring somebody that can relate to this topic. And I just thought of you. So the difference between the mindset that African/Nigerian parents have and the ones that the grown, new, and present youth have, like how they conflict, what do you disagree and agree on or need to get rid of altogether, and how to get to a middle ground for the two?
That's a question in its own.
It is.
I mean, it's a big question. It's a real relevant question too. Like one of the biggest things, I actually just had a conversation with one of my friends just on Saturday, just talking about fear. You know, a lot of African parents, everything they do, most of the things they do is kind of based on the fear that they have. Like, for example, like I mentioned, like how many Nigerian swimmers have you ever seen in the Olympics? Because their parents be like, oh no, don't jump in the water, things like that. But you know, fear dictates a lot of the decisions that they allow themselves to make, allow the kids to do or get into. So like, they put a lot of limits on their children because of the fear that they have from their experiences. You feel me? But in terms of like, even just the mindset that they have, you know, I remind my parents all the time, like, listen, you're not in your country,
Right.
you know, like, so you have to also assimilate, like, you're in somebody else's country, though. You know, they might look at you, if you're in zone, whatever the case may be, like, oh no, this boy is this, that, and the other. Like, yo, I gotta remind them, this is the culture of this country. It's acceptable here. You feel me? You know, it's just so many different. There are just so many different facets of things that parents, a lot of Nigerian parents, African parents, look at. They think it's bad. They think culturally, for their culture, it's looked down upon.
Right.
You know, but for us, you know, for me personally, I've learned to. I have to just educate them. Feel me? Like I have the privilege to like really be able to educate like my parents. Like African parents say, "Oh, I can't tell this, I can't tell that." I'm like, I have to tell my dad. Like, I still tell my dad every once in a while, like, "Yo, like, you can't just keep saying it. Like, you know, you just be stereotyping these people."
Right.
You know, there's a history behind everything that happens, so it's a continuous conversation with them. Like, "Yo, no, ma, you can't talk about that. Nah, you can't do this, you can't do that."
Right.
But growing up, like, I was born in Nigeria. I moved here when I was 10 years old. So for the most part, I'm still world cultured. I speak Yoruba. You know, we speak Yoruba English in my house. That's how it's called.
Yoruba
so like
English.
it's a balance between, like, you know, maintaining your culture, also not getting too into the American culture. You know, because they always see that as a negative thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, growing up, it was always like, yo, how do we kind of find this balance? But as myself and my siblings got older, we realized, like, you know, for the most part, it's conversation. You know, but a lot of people don't have the opportunity to don't have that space to have those conversations with parents either. So, but it's a slow thing. Like, you slowly break down. You get to one thing at a time. Like, yo, mom, you know, this thing is not as bad as you think it might be. Sometimes they just need explanation, because all they hear is their friends talking about, that guy has that kind of hair. It's no, you know, you know me, like, you know, like, your hair, like, at some point I had, like, some of my friends, like, their parents be like, yo, like, you're wearing your hair is like, you're showing like you're a bad boy, you're this and that. Like, yo, that has nothing to do with it.
Right. It doesn't show your character.
It does not exactly. It shows nothing of your character. And we're still having conversations, even in church. Like, talk to people's parents. Like, yo, like, because your kid had this hair does not mean they're bad. It's just the culture of, for example, if they play basketball. Almost every basketball player got a cutty. like, you know, they're just, you know, they're starting to understand slowly. Like, yo, this is the culture of the land. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Mm-hmm. And back then they would tell us, like, oh, if you have this kind of hair, if you have a tattoo, you know, you will not get a job. My bosses is tatted up, and they roll that thing up. Like, they want you to see that they're tatted. It's like it's a free, you know, if it's a free area, everybody's just doing their thing. So it doesn't limit you, but of course you also have to use, you know, discretion in what you do. Like, you don't want to overdo things. Like, so I mean, for the most part, like, it's just the central piece of it is conversation.
Okay, so you said African parents, like, they function in fear.
Yeah, for the most part.
Like, I also think it's because, like, they don't like to take risks. Like, they want to follow the guaranteed path to success.
Right.
Like, doctor, lawyer.
Oh yeah.
Like, when you said the swimmer.
Yeah.
Like, look at the girl that ran the hurdles.
She
like,
boy.
her parents wanted her to be a
example
doctor and stuff like that. So yeah, I also think it's because they don't really want to take risks.
Yeah, like, I understand what you said, because I remember, like, when I first came here, I mean, I loved basketball since Nigeria, but, like, I never got the opportunity to play.
Right.
So when I got here, I was like, oh, basketball's here, like, easily.
Right.
So I just started playing, and then I was taking it serious. Like, I was taking it too serious for them. I was taking it too serious.
Fist your books.
Yeah, I was taking it too serious for them. So, like, I tried to have a conversation, but it was like, you know, it was like, nah, like, this is not guaranteed, but this is guaranteed if you just do what you're supposed to do. This, you do what you're supposed to do, it's not still guaranteed. And I'm like, you know, sometimes it feels like they don't have faith in you.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's just who they are.
Yeah, but at the same, like, this is part of the conversation my friend and I had on Saturday. Like, you know, because they are your parent, like, they want the best for you,
Right.
But sometimes they don't see the best for you, like,
Or the best in you.
on the best. Yeah. So even with track, like, my parents never. First of all, my parents had never seen me run until my very last meet in college,
Wow.
or second to last.
I'm not gonna.
You feel me?
That's
Like,
me, yeah.
it's crazy. Like, I had to sit them down. Like, y'all not gonna watch me run? Like, that's crazy. But they weren't interested in that because they thought it was just a hobby in high school until money started getting involved. You know, when the scholarship offered, they're like, oh, so what about this sport? That's what you know me. And like, oh, now you're interested.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, as we moved on, I made them. They had to come to the parent relays. I don't know if you've ever been to the parent relays. You know, it's the largest track meet on American soil, and it's not cheap if you're a spectator. Trust me. And I'm a family in a family of 6. Everybody had to buy a ticket to come, and they got the ticket late. And the ticket was like $100 something for each person. I said, y'all gonna get this ticket because either this or y'all come watch me in Maine at my conference championship. So you better pick Philly because you can get there. But they saw as I went on in the sport, and they saw that, you know, I can balance academics and athletics. I never had an issue with that even in high school. But they just saw it was like as a distraction. Oh, you're just gonna be running. Oh, it's not just running. It's more than just running for some people.
Right.
You know, it's a good space for me. It was a great place for my mental.
Yeah.
You know, I had a lot of stuff going on, like family, like health wise, with my sister when I was in high school. So track was a safe space for me.
That's good.
So I was like, yo, we never had that conversation at that time. So as I got older, I was able to kind of step in and say these things. And that's what's missing in a lot of African communities. Like, the children are so afraid to kind of talk to the parents, which is not their fault. It's kind of the space that's created. But sometimes you have to force the conversation. Like, yo, mom, dad, like, this is how you think, and explain to them in a respectful way. Like, you can think a different way.
Right.
You feel me? You can always look in a different light. So it's really a lot to it, man. It's really a lot.
Yeah, that definitely feel you on that. Like, you want to say something?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, because you remember that trend on TikTok where it's like, it was like Rosa Parks or whoever that was the audio of. It was like, you have to take your freedom. I took my freedom, and like a whole plethora of African kids was just going back and back about like experiences of them having to take their freedom or things like that. And I find it hilarious that we all find these content relatable, which that's what we make, me and Uki, and like people are like, you know, talking about their experiences and bringing up how majority of us now are able to, like, you know, quote quote take our freedom, all because, you know, we were not afraid of what the consequences our parents gonna lay on us. Like, for one thing I believe was growing up is definitely like the idea of just after the you'll get punished part, I was like, yes, I will get punished, but I know I already did it. So the punish is like the consequence at the end of the day. So I was able to take the risk and just go ahead and do it. So like, till now it's just, you know, go ahead or just be careful.
So I'm not condoning that you go ahead and just
no.
So what I'm saying is the key is there's a respectful boundary that you can cross. You feel me? Like I would never like blatantly just go ahead and disrespect my parents.
Right.
That's not, you know. But you know, there's a way that you can have conversations. You don't. The thing is, you don't have to wait till a situation happens before you have the conversation.
Right.
Because at that point, you're just reactionary. You feel me? You got to be proactive about it before you even think about whatever you're about to do months ahead. Like, or before you plan it, just go ahead and have the conversation. Put a seed in their mind, and then start kind of bringing them facts and showing them like, yo, it's not like this, or it could be this way or that way. And trust me, they're not crazy either. I mean, they'll still be scared, but you got to also show them that you can handle whatever it is that you're trying to do, and it's not destructive to you. You feel me? Like I'm very huge on respect. Like I honor my parents in every way possible. Right. So like, you know, although, you know, they be blowing me sometimes, you feel me? Like, you feel me? But you know, it's still that boundary that's still there, and it's that level of respect is still there. So have the conversations ahead of time. Don't wait till it happens. Well, don't just do it and then say, oh, what I did it. Like, plant the seed slowly, and trust me, like, you will see a shift. They will also start shifting in their minds. Like, you know, I got to a point where I don't have to even say I'm going somewhere to my parents. Like, they understand that this person is responsible enough to go somewhere and come back and not do anything stupid.
At what age do you think that?
So that's how the cheat code. I'm joking. So I think like when I was around like 17, 18.
Wow.
It's crazy, right? It's very, but listen, but thing, it's far, but like. The thing is, like, you know, you feel me? You out late and like, you know, not disrespectfully late, of course, like, but like, yo, you didn't even check on me, like she's like, what am I checking on you for? You know, I was like, it was kind of good, like, because they respect you enough as well, like, yeah. So
that's good.
I recently heard that like raising a kid is like rolling the dice because because no matter how well you wanna train your kid, he or she's gonna turn out however, like. They're gonna do whatever they want. Yeah. Like they're gonna be their own person because you can't raise two. You can raise two people in the same household, and they can be two different people.
That's very true.
Definitely.
And a lot of African parents think like because they're constricting the child, or you're staying in the house, and they think they have the best children. The whole time, like their kids are the worst. You feel me? Like I be trying to tell some people like about church, like they be thinking like their child is. I'm like, you might want to listen a little bit because they, like you mentioned, they start to live a double life. Like you know, I'm gonna show my parents I'm this good person, but you know. When I'm out there, it's a whole different vibe. Like some people, I know people that change their clothes in the car.
Oh,
the bus. Like you think your child is like the holy. It's a holy. But what you want to see in your children, like I think even as young as we all are in this room, like you can start planting seeds now. Like you know the things that you didn't like that your parents have done. You know the thing, but at the same time, like there's something that you still kind of have to do.
Right,
of course.
You feel me? Like start thinking about those things. Like, I'm starting to think about them. Like you know, I think I'm getting the age now. Man's about to, you know, by God's grace. So you gotta get married for it. You engaged? I'm not engaged yet, so we'll see. I invite y'all. Don't worry. But no, there are things like I know for sure. Like you know, I didn't like what my parents did. You know, like you know.
Yeah.
You know, the whole African day, go get the remote all the time. You're like, bro,
Right.
like, it's right there. Just little things like that. I didn't like that, but at the same time, you know, like, my dad was someone who he respects you. You know, he might be hard on you, but he respects you. I'll take pieces, the good things, and I'm looking at the bad things. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that.
Right.
I'm not going to allow that. But I'm starting to plant the seed and I think about it early. So when I have my children, I'm not so tight on them, but I'm also not too loose on them.
Right,
Like,
right.
There's a level between like being your child's friend and also being their parent.
Yes,
and I
right.
think that's what a
Well,
lot of
so,
people like. You know,
Yeah.
I joke around my mom a lot. Like I don't like in church. I be even at home when she called me, I'm like, "What's good, sister?" Like, and I do it in church, and they be like. I was like, yo, that's my mother. Like, we joke around. I want that. You feel me?
Right.
So when I'm raising, by God's grace, raising the family and raising my own kids, I want us to have those conversations as well. Have fun. You know, don't not always uptight. But of course, it's still going to be like, I'm still your dad. It's still that boundary. I'm still going to be your father, and you're still going to be the child. But we can still, as well be friends. So.
But do you believe though it's like just one sided, as where it's like the friendship or I'm not your friend topic comes in a argument or a conversation, and it's just makes the kids move away and
Right, like
run away from.
I understand like what you're saying. Like they be like, "Oh, I'm not your friend." Like don't
Yeah.
never talk. But at the same time, they be like, "Am I not your best friend?"
Why don't you talk to me?
That's
Why do you think I'm not talking to you?
Yeah, but like before we end this question and move on to the next topic, like I want to ask, like, what's a specific name like you would not take along like with your kids? Because I know with me, it's the whole cleaning the house thing. Like I literally had that conversation with my dad. So I'm like, I'm not gonna do this with my kids. Like, like,
Nah,
because you know, like
Yeah.
Saturday, it's like the kids only do the cleaning.
But
And he was like, but I feel like we all should do it. Like it just makes it faster, and more like instead of me just
cohesive.
cleaning and just I'm done around 3
It's
p.m.
more time.
I'm like,
Plain devil's advocates. Plain devil's. Do you pay bills?
bro, it doesn't matter. Like
that's a hard question right there.
but at the same time, we all live in the house. Like
But-
you put something there, don't call me to come take it off.
But you know how you said that one is like is not what you're gonna. I feel like I'm gonna take that.
I'm taking
along.
that too, bro.
Because
Right, bro.
for
That's
one
right.
is like that's how like college when we went for our orientation, they're like you cannot pick somebody that's clean, all that modest, and you yourself is not.
Right,
Because
right.
that's how you're
Don't
gonna
butt
show
heads.
character outside. That's how your parents are able to say they raise a proper kid. And like me having to take the trash out yesterday night, I thought of it too. My mom was telling me since the afternoon. I didn't get to it. Not on purpose. It's just like not because of the amount of siblings I have. It alternates so much. Like my brother could take it out. My sister. It's just like could somebody else. But she was just mentioning it to me like I told you this earlier. I was just like. The trash is right there. I'm just feeling lazy. I just got up, took it out, and I finished doing it. I'm like, the house is much cleaner. It just brings a good, the same way they tell you do something small in the morning. It just it just add on to the
Yeah, but what I'm
productivity.
saying is, of course, my kids are still gonna do the work and everything, like the living room, everything. They gonna do all that, but like, I'm not going inside to clean my mom's room. Like, she stays in there. Like,
Boy, I used
But
to iron
it's
my
like-
mom's clothes, boy.
You think you're gonna come from your 40-hour job a week?
I'm not gonna
and
hold you.
Still
yo.
gonna be.
I'm not
able
gonna.
to get
When you start
Come
working,
on.
you start to see things a little different. Like,
you
yo,
have a specific
I'm too tired. Nah, you gotta go do this stuff.
I feel like you haven't seen it yet. Cause
Nah.
I've worked. I did Amazon. Like I come home, bro. Like
Yeah,
you
exhausted.
12 hours, bro. It's not even a joke. And as a parent that has responsibility up to that level, I think you gotta give your kids the benefit of the doubt they can handle that.
Yeah, I'm
Even cooking. That's
seeing
one
it
thing
from
I'm
a
gonna take
perspective
along.
now. Hey, I'm saying another perspective. Right.
But I mean, for me, like personally, one thing I would not take is like the emotional detachment. Like growing up, like my dad, he did, but thing is, he didn't see it as like a bad thing. He was just like, it was just I'm a provider. I provide, make sure you got what you got. But I realized like later on, as I'm older, like you gotta be more than a provider. Not just for me, like for my little sister, for example. I think she's 22, 23 now. I don't know.
Wow.
But for her, there was a situation that happened. I think it was like her graduation, or was it I don't know, somebody's graduation. My dad was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to make it because of this and the other." I said, "Ain't no way in hell you're not gonna make this graduation. Like, there's no this is something that you
Means a
can't
lot.
miss. Like, this is like." And I was telling him like, "Yo, things that could have that was gonna fly with me and my brother and my older sister would not fly with my little sister. We're all built differently, you can't be that. And we sat down in his office, and he was like, for me, he told me like for him growing up, like his parents, he said in Europe, right? He was like, his dad don't even know like what the gates of his school looked like. His dad was just paying for school. No, his brothers raised him. These brothers paid for school. His dad just knew that he was in school. Wow. So it was that for him it was normal. So he wasn't even thinking like there was emotional detachment. I was like, yo, like you got to be a little more than this for like the kids. And I also like I mentioned earlier, like I work with youth and young adults in my church. So I'm telling a lot of the parents like, yo, you can't just be providing for your kid. Like you also got to be there for the kid. You also got to take like one minister, for example, he has all girls. I'm like, you gotta take these girls out, like let them know, because somebody else in the future is gonna be trying to show them like what your daddy can't show you. You feel me? Like you want to show them that like, yo, my dad can do way more than me. Like, don't be impressed by the little things type of thing. So I'm telling him like, yo, we cannot like you can't keep moving in this direction because it's only gonna be further and further. My dad and I didn't used to be close. Like, matter of fact, my dad would come home, I'm going upstairs. Like, everybody
relates to that.
Like, I'd go straight upstairs, like, yo, like, we never saw eye to eye. We never, I didn't think my dad was funny, but people think he's hilarious. Like, you know, that's how, but I would, you feel me? Like, I would just go upstairs, like, yo, I don't want to hear this dude, you know? But for me, the biggest piece for me there was, like, kind of get to know God for myself. And that helped me to realize, like, yo, I have to honor my parents. So I have to kind of submit. Once I started to submit, that submission part, it was like me shutting up even though I was right. At some point he realized, all right, this kid don't want beef no more. Like, so slowly we start to develop the relationship. And that's where, again, a lot of young Africans and their parents, they miss it because everybody wants to butt head all the time. You feel me? Like, no one wants to, like, come down. Once you come down and they see that you're coming down, trust me, they will humble themselves too. Like, I laugh at it sometimes, but I never thought my dad and I will ever, like, see eye to eye. Like, never. We used to have interventions all the time. Like, his brother would come, sit us down in the basement. My mom's family would come, sit us down in the basement. Oh, and you and your father needs to... No, like, I just was not interested. I never asked my dad for anything in high school. I wanted to go to track meets. I found a way to pay for it myself. That's how, like, I was hard-headed too, but I had to learn how to submit. Like, that's, like, and I appreciate when we prayed starting this session, it was like, to a degree, you guys have God in you. You feel me? So, like, that's, if you read the Bible, honor your father and your mother, for them, would your life belong. You feel me? So, like, it was those words that kind of, like, helped me out a lot. And I realized once I submitted, and it made things so much easier as I went on in conversation and just us relating in general. So, yeah.
That's really touching. That is both every male, young male.
Touch a lot.
Listeners and viewers.
I want you to know, like, your growth as a man. Like, can you just get into that before we just round up?
So, what aspect of the growth as a man? Because, like, there's so many aspects to this thing. You feel me? Like, are we talking like college? Are we talking high school or young professional?
Maturity.
Just maturity in general.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I felt like I had to grow up fast. People always, like I mentioned earlier, I'm number 3 or 4. But people always saw me as, like, older. I have 2 older siblings. They always think I'm the oldest one. So, like, I always kind of have to grow up fast. I was kind of, like, always on it in terms of academics and stuff. So I kind of have to grow up really, really fast. And I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself to do well and everything. I was I'm working on that, kind of a perfectionist, working on that actively by the grace of God. But the maturity part for me, I think it really didn't come until I got to, I was starting college. Because going back, like I mentioned earlier, like my sister had an illness when I was starting college, I think my first year of college, that kind of, threw my family in a frenzy. Like, doctors couldn't tell what was going on, and it was just so much going on. And track was like my only way, I was just there, like, yo, this is like my safe space. I hated going home. And at that point, like, I just learned how to kind of get things on my own, and my parents were spending so much money trying to figure out what's wrong with her. So I didn't want to be asking, like, yo, I need this, I need that.
Top of that.
Like, yeah, so, like, I was saving up, like, money, like, my lunch money back then, like, I was buying stuff for myself, making sure I was taking, also I had the pride, because, my dad and I didn't see eye to eye, so I was going to ask you anyway, bro. So, so, like, I had to kind of slowly, start doing stuff on my own. And then, like, when I got to, like, when I started college track, And like my first year, like I got matter of fact, at the first meet I got injured doing the warm-ups. I said, I know you're lying. Like, you know, you got to take care of something. Like, it was still so much going on at home, and I still had to take care of this. So it was like, yo, mentally, like, I got to just get on it. And I knew how hard UMBC is. Like, you know, because my sister went there, so I was like, yo, like, I can't afford, like, to take L's everywhere. You feel me? If I, you know, I got, so I was always trying to make sure I was on my P's and Q's. But, you know, in all those, I still learned that, like, yo, you have to fail to win sometimes, to be successful sometimes. So like, took some L's in some classes, you know, especially the math classes, boy. It's not easy, but it really helped me to learn perseverance. And that's why one thing I appreciate about track, and I love so much about track. Another thing that drew me even towards being a track coach, like, track helped me mentally, physically, emotionally, matured me. You feel me? Like, so it was like, yo, that sport piece did it for me. Like, solidified the maturity for me. Like, I just knew, like, yo, if I can make it through some of these workouts, I can make it through life. Yeah, like, track is not easy though. That's like, if I can make it through this, like, I can make it through a lot. So I was able to push through. So you learned a lot
about life through track.
Oh, what? Man, track humbles you.
Like, boys, you like, bro, them workouts, like, you feel like your body, like, you went through pain before, like, your body, like, just dealing with that and just...
I'm traumatized,
I can relate to that with wrestling, because, like, my wrestling coach is probably one of the, you know, inspirational people I took from high school, knowing that we only even had 1 year to be together. You know, COVID hit, and then we just went online. But from, you know, him looking at me at basketball tryout, 5 feet kid, skinny, 100, and he's like, what are you doing? He just puts me aside. I got disqualified. I remember that. Yeah, I got disqualified. He's just like, you know,
for basketball.
He's just like, you know, you could do way better with wrestling. What is the purpose of you doing basketball? I'm like, you know, I just think I can shoot. I can be the best. You know, he's like, no kids are 6 feet taller than you. Yeah, I'm like, it doesn't matter. And he just saw the passion I have for, you know, I was just very, and like, I was so driven in high school. Like, for many things, I've always wanted to be involved. I still am. Like, it's just, I get so chaotic with so much at once. I just like that, and I built from that. The same way you say, like, it takes away from home, or like your current moments of problems. But from those things, I learned to, like, face those problems head on, because it actually freed the room to have you focus on the things you have more passion for. So coming from wrestling, you know, like you said, dad not seeing eye to eye, I was just getting built, and not that it made my dad just like wary, but it was just like, he sees me as, you know, I was just becoming older, and just sometimes you would not see me come from wrestling late at night at 8 or meet at 10. He's just like, you know, it's just little settlement like that. My mom being supportive, making proper meals for me, and just keeping me. I like food. That's a side of mine. But like, definitely like that part of you, you know, quoting that part in Bible. And my coach is not all too religious, but he knows that sense of Christianity, and he's just building in us as men and growing us in practice and warm-ups. And, you know, at times I was just like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't pick somebody that was 120. He's just looking at me like, that's another man. What are you talking about? It's just things like that just molded me to just get out of character and just rebuild myself. And foundation, like, is critical. So it definitely brings a lot to light with that athletic part.
And I really appreciate that you mentioned, like, your coach, though, because like, you know, Kiki know Coach Johnson. You know, Coach I call her my second mom, and that lady is crazy, but I love her so much. She was instrumental in my growth as well. Like, you know, she saw me as, you know, I was 103 pounds, bro, like, in the 7th grade. And this lady built me up to like 140 something. By the time I was in college, 160. I mean, I ain't got nothing no more though. But like, she was also, you know, a key piece, because she also kept us going.
Right.
She did not allow us to slack. My Coach Johnson will pull up to your house until I'm outside, like, let's go. I'm like, dang, like, we're supposed to go to a meeting in New York. It's snowing. I'm thinking, like, it's going to be canceled. I'm outside. Come on. Yeah. I'm like, yo, you know, how much protein did you get in today? You know, weight room, like, you know, she made sure that and I knew that I had to make those same efforts for the kids that I coach.
Right.
For me, like, track, like, you know, it's not. I don't look at it as a job. I don't even know how much I get paid for track. That's not. I just signed the contract. I just know I'm going. My thing is like I want these kids to have experiences. I want them to the opportunity to get scholarships because like she did more for me than anybody that could have done for me in terms of college. Like she was taking us on visits in her own like on her own dime, her own car, all over the state, all over the country. Like yo. Who was gonna do that for you, like, and not charge you for gas? Like, she would joke around, be like, "Yo, you better have my money, this and the other." I mean, like, sometimes she do be getting her money, but like for the most part, the lady was always like, "Yo, I'm gonna make sure that all of you guys are successful."
Right.
Sat us down in her house. Everybody, start filling out college applications. Pick your safe schools. Pick the schools that you would like to run track at. Let's reach out to the coaches. This and like, yo, I'm like. This lady's not real, but so she was very instrumental. I'm glad you mentioned like your coach. She was very instrumental in my growth and how I see things for other people as well.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that about her. Like, just me, my short term with her and everything, like, was cool and stuff. Like, she called me the other day. I'm like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, this school right here, like, with Goucher, she told me, like, I should just, because at first I was like, you know what, nah, I'm not this, and like, I already committed and whatever. And she was like, just go ahead and try to get as much money and everything. Like, and I saw the school, I'm like, yo, it's cool. Even though it didn't work out, it's still, like, she put in that effort just to talk
Put
to
it
me.
in mind.
Yeah, like, everything. I was like, yeah, I appreciated that a lot.
So I should put my sister with.
Trust me.
For sure.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Because my sister
Trust
runs, but I don't know
Yeah,
where
she's
to
really
put her.
supportive.
What school
Until
is she
Core
at?
Day. No, she's 10 years old. She's in 5th grade. So.
Let her take her time. That's
Yeah.
Don't
But
rush
that's the thing. She just have the same, like I told you, like just the passion for things. Right now, she's already in a dance club with my church involved, and they're called I just lost the name, but they have performance like literally 2 days ago. She came home at 10, decided to tell me about it. So like little things like that is just I don't want her to lose the interest.
Right.
So being able to have that passion, having somebody to support, because I'm going for college, and I was just talking to Corey Day, and Corey Day was just a go ahead for me.
Oh yeah,
so,
I mean
Coach Johnson.
yeah,
Coach J, that lady's a monster.
Oh my
I could
god.
definitely relate because
But-
with Coach Green too, during the lacrosse season, he was like, I'm teaching you guys skills that you will need for life.
Yeah, that's him.
Like being punctual, being on time, communicating with your teammates, stuff like that. He was just always getting on us for stuff like that.
That's good.
It was like that for me, my basketball coach English, and I would say BJ also, because my freshman year, like, I loved basketball. I don't know how I lost love for basketball. I don't know, but I loved it so much. Like, I was this kid, right? I could jump, I could run, everything, but I just didn't have the skills, right? So, like, I got his number. I texted him, like, Coach, can we do 6 a.m. workouts? Like, I'll be going to the
Kobe
gym.
stuff, boy.
Yeah.
1,000 shots a day.
I would go to the gym 6 a.m. and, like, I just saw, like, the gradual process and everything. Like, he be talking to me like, yo, if you don't take your time with things, like, you're not going to get it right. And I just, because he was like, oh, you just trying to do everything fast. And he just taught me some things. Like, he went in class with communicating with people. Like, I had this class, it would literally put me, like, you would take me away from the basketball team, put me with other people. Like, okay, try to communicate with them. They take me back to the basketball team, try to help them out, too. And everything, like, just in class in general and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it was a good impact. Like, this is certain people you meet in life.
Oh yeah,
Like, you can never
forget them.
Yeah, you can never forget. It was just one of those
Never,
things.
ever.
But yeah, as you're older than us, everybody here. So, like, what's some advice going to college and just life at this stage? Like, you can give
Woman.
us- You would give
You want advice on women? You want advice on life and women?
Nah, he already asked that, so let's get to that.
All right, so the first advice I would give all of you guys is really to be yourself. College is a space where, trust me, like, everybody gonna find themselves in college, because there's a space for it. No matter how weird, strange, or different you are, somebody gonna fit in with you. Like, you feel me? But you gotta learn how to be yourself and stay consistently yourself, because you're gonna be in spaces where you gotta try to fit, just like high school. You know, you kind of navigated your way through high school. You out. Now you're in college. It goes college to real world.
Right.
So everybody's already kind of playing their real world role in college. So, like, find yourself, know yourself, and stay true to yourself. Because after those 4 years, you realize, dang, like, I kind of just, I was just wasting all this time trying to be like this guy or trying to hang with this guy. Everyone's path is going to be different. So be intentional about being yourself. If you're a guy who doesn't, for example, you don't smoke, you know, you're gonna have a lot of friends that smoke. It's the casual thing. You feel me? Even I'm sure kids do in high school too, but in college it just gets as free can be. Like I don't drink.
Yeah.
And even through college, like my friends were like, "Yo, you don't drink?" Like it was like the strangest thing. I'm like, "Yo, I don't drink," and I have to stay true to that. And a lot of my friends drink, but they respected the fact that I don't drink. Even when we go hang out with their places or whatever, there'll be drinks there, but like they know I don't drink. So it's like it's no question about anything. That's just who I was, and they respected that. So once people see who you are, you allow them to see who you truly are, and stay that way, they will respect you for that. So don't worry about, oh my God, like, yo, is this person gonna think I'm a loser or this, that, and the other? Like, you weird. Trust me, people will, because everyone looks for someone they want to follow.
Right.
Because that's the easy route. Everyone wants someone to follow through. So you also want to just be who you are, and trust me, like years down the line, you might not see the results now, but years down the line, you kind of compare notes with some people. You realize, like, yo, I'm glad I kind of stayed this way, this person that I am. And in terms of women, there's going to be a lot of women in college. All sorts of colors and sizes. So pick a choice.
Oh my
You
God.
feel me? But, I mean, you just be safe. You feel me? No, that's it. Don't, a lot happens. People catching charges, doing this, Don't put yourself in positions that can compromise, like, your life and your destiny.
Wow.
Pretty much. Again, you're staying on campus, right?
Yeah.
That's more freedom. You got your own space. Your mom is not about to be knocking on your door every hour. No one's gonna tell you, hey, Moses, like, oh man, hope that girl not in your room, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, you can have your girlfriend or whatever, but like, also as a Christian, you feel me? Like, you want to maintain your Christian values as well. It's not the popular thing, unfortunately, but you want to maintain your Christian values as well. You can have a girlfriend, you can have friends, whatever, but also know your limits. Know your limits. Stick by your limits. All right. So, what else was I giving advice on? I forgot.
But yeah, we were around up right now. But like, what stage of your life are you on right now? Like, as a man, what are you trying to work towards?
Oh man, right now I'm 27, y'all. We ain't real close to 30. It's crazy. I'm a dinosaur. That's what my train girls call me.
27. Dang.
I know.
Yeah.
I was your age at some point. It's crazy. But right now, for me, it's just building up my equity. And also, by the grace of God, starting a family. That's kind of like the next steps for me, really, at this point. It's like really grateful to be where I'm at, career wise, just life wise, ministry. So building my equity, starting a family, and of course, also just walking in the path that God has for me.
Right.
Those are the three biggest pieces for me. So, yeah,
that's good. This is a interesting. This is interesting. I like this. I like this episode a lot.
I appreciate you guys having me, man.
Thank you for coming, bro.
Of course, man. Of course.
We took out your time with the day.
No, you cool, man. I got a meeting at 2:00, but we cool. Of course, man.
Thank y'all for listening, tuning in, and thank y'all for the last episodes, the views and everything that's been going up. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe also. We on SoundCloud, everything.
Spotify.
Everything you can think of,
on
man.
all platforms.
I got you on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. And those on TikTok. Y'all heard what he said, the chimes and dimes.
Yeah, TikTok, Alright, thank you. See y'all next episode.
Peace.
In the late, now. In the late, now.